for the bride that I love. Let us drink wine together, sing praise to his name, give thanks for the Lamb, the Lamb who was slain. He says it's my body, and this is my blood, and I give my life for the bride that I love. He came to heal the broken, set the captives free, and he said to the sick, remembrance of me. We worship you, Abba Father, for all you've done. There is none like you. Thank you for sending your Son. Let us worship together in one accord. Sing songs of the bridegroom, the one we adore. He says, this is my body, and this is my blood, and I give my life freely for the bride that I love. He came to heal the broken, set the captives free, and he said to the sick, remembrance of me.
All right. So Chag Shemiag Shabbat Shalom. Happy High Shabbat of Unleavened Bread, Mishpacha. Good to see you all here. So I know a lot of our Mishpacha here are fellowshipping in person today, and that's truly a barakoth, a blessing. And I love it. Can't wait to see all the pictures of everybody. And if they're able to jump on, even share some videos. But anyways, welcome and Shabbat Shalom to all. So we're going to be covering... Hey, Brandon, Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, brother.
Brandon. Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
Is that your fellowship for today? Just you and Sumi?
And my brother.
Oh, nice. Awesome. Well, we're about to go over some scriptures walking through Pesach or Passover and unleavened bread or matzah as well. And we're going to cover a chapter in Book of Khalidi or Book of Nazarene, which is pretty cool. And I want to cover that because we've gone over all the New Testament verses the last Shabbat we had, fellowship. So I didn't want to be redundant and go over those same verses again. But this Book of Nazarene verse is pretty interesting, having to do with the death, burial, and resurrection of Yahusha HaMashiach. Awesome. No, good to see some pictures there. Yeah, we observed our Pesach last night. It was awesome. Callan was singing by the fire, praising Yahuah. It was really awesome. But yeah, if you guys have any Pesach pictures you would like to share, feel free. It's good to see everybody's Passover that they were observing. Oh, nice. Awesome. So yeah, we will be covering that entire account today, going over some important verses in Scripture and showing how Messiah and the Talmudim, the disciples, were all observing Pesach and unleavened bread at the proper time. All right, so before we begin, I'll say a prayer and we'll get right into it. Father, Abba Yahuah, we come to you in prayer to give you thanks for allowing this fellowship and this gathering on your most Kodesh day, the High Shabbat of unleavened bread. We thank you for this fellowship, this gathering, all the fellowships and gatherings that are happening in person today. Such a barakoth, and we love it. We love observing it on your days with our mishpacha. I couldn't ask for anything more. And we also wanted to pray for your guidance and your blessings as we read and we study through your word about your most important days. I also wanted to say a prayer for those who are struggling through trials, tribulations, and stresses, burdens, financially, whatever it may be. We all need your help, and we all need that strength to be able to endure to the end. And I pray to you in the name of Yahusha HaMashiach. Let it be so.
Let it
And
be.
Barak Yahuah. All right, so Sumi and Brandon, Shabbat Shalom. Good to see y'all. You have definitely been missed. And Linda, Shabbat Shalom. Good to hear your voice, brother. And yes, welcome, Linda, Shabbat Shalom. Happy High Sabbath of Unleavened Bread. And Natalie, Shabbat Shalom, sister. Good to see you here. Gotta love the echo, yeah. And Tonya, good to see you here, sister. Shabbat Shalom. And Sherry Ann, good to see you here as well, sister. Shabbat Shalom. Welcome, welcome. And we got Jacob. Shabbat Shalom, brother. Good to see you here as always. And Sister Tracy as well. Shabbat Shalom. Good to see you here. And Brother Dwayne as well. Good to see you here, brother.
Shabbat Shalom, brother. And to all.
So yeah, we got here, let me share my screen. So our first account that we are going to read through is actually Exodus chapter 12. And it'll just be the whole chapter. And it's all about Pesach and Matzah, or Passover and Unleavened Bread. So this is going to be from Yah's scriptures. And here, let me share the link. Share it in the chat for everybody here. Or if you would like to follow along in whatever version you have as well. Tonya? Okay, got it. My apologies. Yes, I see that. Tonya. My apologies. All right. So Exodus chapter 12. And Yahuah spoke to Moshe and to Aharon in the land of Mitzrayim, saying, This month is the beginning of months for you. It is the first month of the year for you. Speak to all the congregation of Israel, saying, On the 10th day of this month, each one of them is to take for himself a lamb, according to the house of his father, a lamb for a household. And if the household is too small for the lamb, let him and his neighbor next to his house take it according to the number of the beings. According to each man's need, you make your count for the lamb. So basically what it's describing here is, we choose our lambs on the 10th of the first month, and we make sure it's just the right size, not too small, not too much. And if our household is too small, we invite our neighbors or our mishpacha as well, coming together. And continuing on here. So verse 5, Let the lamb be a perfect one, a year-old male. Take it from the sheep or from the goats. And you shall keep it until the 14th day of the same month. Then all the assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it between the evenings. And they shall take some of the blood, and put it on the 2 doorposts, and on the lintel of the houses where they eat it. And they shall eat the flesh on that night, roasted in fire. With unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs they shall eat it. And do not eat it raw, or boil at all with water, but roast it in fire, its head with its legs and inward parts. So we've gone into some interesting discussion about all this in the fellowship here. But yeah, there's been some good points made about what we are reading here. But we see, on that same night, we slaughter it, we roast it on the fire, basically the whole thing. We eat it with unleavened bread and bitter herbs. And, remember again, these are specific commands as well, like how to cook it, what goes with it, all of these things. And specific cooking instructions as well, like do not eat it raw, do not boil it, but roast it on the fire. And this word for inward parts can also, I think someone mentioned it can mean like just the stomach and things like that. Because we know when that word is mentioned for inward parts, it's usually talking about like the stomach or the heart, the livers, the kidneys. So just some interesting stuff there. But let me continue here. So verse 10, And do not leave of it until morning, and whatever remains of it until morning you are to burn with fire. And this is how you eat it, with your loins girded, and your sandals on your feet, and your staff in your hand. And you shall eat it in haste. It is the Pesach of Yahuah. So again, we see, we eat it, do not leave any of it until morning. Whatever remains, whatever you don't eat, you burn it in the fire. And we see there's also more detailed instructions on how we should eat it. You know, our loins girded, sandals on our feet, meaning being ready to go. And eating it in haste, meaning eating it speedily. Because we don't know when that Passover, that angel of death is coming. So they ate it in haste. So they can be ready to go when it did pass over. Yeah, there you go, Sumi. Yeah. Yeah. All the children coming to your table, like, that was actually a blessing, truly. Do not deny the little children. And you did it. You ate it all in haste. There you go. So you don't have to worry about anything being left over until the morning. And I will have to listen to that voice clip in a bit here, Sister Tracy. But yeah, eating it in haste, making sure you're ready to go in case anything happens. But we also will read later on that well, I'll save this for in a minute because we're about to read that part, how we observe it in remembrance of, you know, getting out of the bondage of Mitzrayim or Egypt. So now we observe it in remembrance of Mashiach and his getting us out of bondage, out of spiritual Egypt, freeing us from that bondage. We observe it in remembrance of him now. Okay, got it. Awesome. Yeah, that'd be great. I know. So the Book of Khalidi, there's quite a bit to read there if you all want to help read that. And then there's not too much to read in Jubilees here because I was just going to cover the account of how it was the 15th of the first month that Abraham went to go offer up Isaac. I think this is like 40-something verses here, so I don't know, maybe I can read to like verse around the 20s or so. And then if you or Sumi want to help read. And thank you, by the way, to Da. All right, so let's see, where was I? Sorry. All right, verse 12. 1 second, sorry. So according to the Jews, the evening of the 14th would to them be the 15th. So yeah, that would be the problem. If your evening starts, well, let me rephrase that. If your day starts in the evening like they believe, it poses a big problem because either you're starting it on the 15th or you're starting it on the 13th, depending on how they look at it. It's not going to be the appropriate day because they're specific, especially in Jubilees chapter 49, which I was going to read, but we did read it the other day. But it gives specific time instructions, like 3 parts day, 3 parts night. And how can you have 3 parts day, 3 parts night if your day starts in the evening? Yeah, that is exactly how you pronounce. It looks like Catriona, but it's pronounced Katrina. I know that. By the way, is she here today? I guess not. Anyway, sorry. Let me continue here. So verse 12. And I shall pass through the land of Mitzrayim on that night, and shall smite all the firstborn in the land of Mitzrayim, both man and beast. And on the mighty ones of Mitzrayim I shall execute judgment. I am Yahuah. And really quick, something else just came to my mind as well. So another reason why, those who follow the Jewish calendar or the Jews themselves, they say Passover is a high Sabbath. It's because they start their days in the evening too. So it just runs in along with the actual high Shabbat of unleavened bread, which that's what's written in Scripture. The high Shabbat is the day of unleavened bread, not Passover. So that just came to my mind as well. So with an evening start, it just doesn't quite mesh. It doesn't fit. Each day is not its own Kodesh day. One's blending into another, and they are all very, very important to Yahuah. But we also see what we just read here. Yahuah is going to smite the firstborn in the land of Mitzrayim or Egypt, both men and beasts, and the mighty ones, the lowercase gods of Mitzrayim. So all the plagues that come about, they're actually a representation of one of their mighty ones that they worship there in Mitzrayim at the time. The frogs, the plague, or the flies, like all these different things, they were, making a mockery of their mighty ones that they worship. Actually, Yahuah was doing that. He was showing that, the ones you worship, they are nothing. All right, so verse 13. And the blood shall be a sign for you on the house where you are. And when I see the blood, I shall pass over you. And let the plague not come onto you to destroy you when I smite the land of Mitzrayim. So again, we see that blood on the doorpost was just a sign. And it's a sign that we are in covenant with Yahuah. That's what it was. So the destroyer would not come and destroy his people. The blood wasn't an offering or a sacrifice or anything like that. It was just a sign, a mark. And this day shall become to you a remembrance, and you shall observe it as a festival to Yahuah throughout your generations. Observe it as a festival, an everlasting law. So we see these specific festivals, they are an everlasting law, meaning they are Torah to observe. And it doesn't say, when the Mashiach comes, don't worry about doing this anymore. No. It says throughout your generations, an everlasting law. Everlasting means always. Because even in the renewed heaven and earth, these are going to be observed. So it's very important. And so, verse 15, in 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread. Indeed, on the first day you cause leaven to cease from your house. For whoever eats leavened bread from the first day until the 7th day, that being shall be cut off from Israel. And on the first day is a Kodesh gathering, and on the 7th day you have a Kodesh gathering. And so these are the specific instructions, why we are having a fellowship today, a gathering, and also on the last day as well. But we see the first and last day of what? Unleavened bread. So no work at all is done on them, only that which is eaten by every being, that alone is prepared by you. So again, we see doing no work, which includes, no buying and selling, things like that. It's very similar to a Shabbat day. And then we also see doing no work except that which is eaten by everyone, for food and drink. We also see this backed up in Jubilees chapter 50, speaking about Shabbats. And it says, the same thing about the weekly Shabbat as well. Do no work except which is eaten and drinking. So that kind of correlates with that as well. And you shall guard the matzot. For on the same day I brought your divisions out of the land of Mitzrayim. And you shall guard this day throughout your generations, an everlasting law. And we see it again right there. Again, mentioned twice, throughout your generations, an everlasting law. And in the first, on the 14th day of the month, in the evening, you shall eat unleavened bread until the 21st day of the month in the evening. So again, more specific instructions. Passover, the day of Passover, so just before Passover happens, because it begins in the evening, that's the preparation day. Not only a preparation for unleavened bread, but for the High Shabbat that happens the next day, which is today. First day of unleavened bread, 15th of the first month. But we again see, so from the 14th to the 21st, we do not eat any leavened bread. And for 7 days, no leaven is to be found in your houses. For if anyone eats what is leavened, that same being shall be cut off from the congregation of Israel, whether sojourner or native of the land. So do not eat that which is leavened. In all your dwellings, you are to eat unleavened bread. And very important, as we see it mentioned many times, do not eat anything that's leavened. Just get it out of your houses. Don't eat anything leavened. And that correlates with, the showbread that was meant to be, baked and replaced on every Shabbat. It was always unleavened, but they added frankincense in there as well, which does have some health benefits. And it was eaten by the priests. And it also correlates with some interesting finds I found for the Day of Atonement, which I really need to make that tab for it so I can get into that. But I do want to share that write-up, walking through scriptures, on what scriptures reveals about it. Some say it's a full fast. Some say it's a full feast. Not many realize it's something actually in between that. But let me continue here. That's another topic. Yeah, all praise to the Most High Yahuah. So, do not eat that which is leavened. All right, so 21. And Moshe called for the elders of Israel and said to them, go out and take lambs for yourselves, according to your clans, and slaughter the Pesach. And you shall take a bunch of hyssop and dip it in the blood that is in the basin, and strike the lintel and 2 doorposts with the blood that is in the basin. And you, none of you, shall go out of the door of his house until morning. So this is another one of those, there's someone to be keeping watch all night. And we see that example set by Messiah and the Talmudim, the disciples. Right after they observed Passover, they were falling asleep there, and Messiah had to keep coming and waking them up. So that's just another example why we are to stay awake as long as possible that night, to keep watch, to remain in our houses, to be safe, to be passed over. And Yahuah, Yahuah shall pass on to smite the Mitzrites, and see the blood on the lintel and on the 2 doorposts. And Yahuah shall pass over the door, and not allow the destroyer to come into your house and smite you. And you shall guard this word as a law for you and your sons forever. Again, we see forever guarding this Torah, this law, about observing not only the Passover, but unleavened bread as well. And it just goes to show those who try to say, oh, we shouldn't be observing these things, or those things are done away with because we're not in the land, things like that. Well, we don't see it in here. Like, it's only when you're in the land that you're supposed to do these things. No, we actually see in the place that Yahuah chooses. Yahuah chooses us. Our temples are his dwelling. So we should be the place that he chooses. So anywhere we are will be the place that he chooses. This is why it's important to observe these things. But anyways, we're at verse 25. Did Sumi or Brandon, did you want to read next here, starting from Exodus 12, verse 25?
I'll read.
Awesome.
Okay.
And by the way, really quick, Shabbat Shalom, Reg Mads Conan. I hope I pronounced that right. Welcome.
All
right, whenever you're ready, brother.
We're on 25, right? Verse 25?
Yeah, verse 25.
I got you. Right. Then it shall be when you come to the land which Yahuah gives you, as he promised, that you shall guard this service. And it shall be when your children say to you, what does this service mean to you? Then you shall say, it is the Pesach, slaughtering of Yahuah, who passed over the houses of the children of Yisrael in Mitzrayim, when he smote the Mitzrites and delivered out our households. And the people bowed their heads and did obeisance. Does that say? Is that obeisance? Obeisance. And the children of Israel went away and did so as Yahuah had commanded Moshe and Aaron, so they did. And it came to be at midnight that Yahuah smote all the firstborn in the land of Mitzrayim, from the firstborn of Pharaoh who sat on his throne, to the firstborn of the captive who was in the dungeon, and all the firstborn of livestock. And Pharaoh rose up in the night, he and all his servants, and all the Mitzrites. And there was a great cry in Mitzrayim, for there was not a house where there was not a dead one. Then he called for Moshe and Aaron by night and said, arise, go out from the midst of my people, both you and the children of Israel, and go, serve Yahuah as you have said. Take both your flocks and your herds, as you have said, and go. Then you shall barak me too. And the Mitzrites urged the people to hasten to send them away out of the land, for they said, we are all dying. And the people took their dough before it was leavened, having their kneading bowls bound up in their garments on their shoulders. And the children of Israel had done according to the word of Moshe. And they had asked from the Mitzrites objects of silver and objects of gold and garments. And Yahuah gave the people favor in the eyes of the Mitzrites, so that they gave them what they asked, and they plundered the Mitzrites. And the children of Israel departed from Ramesses to Succoth, about 600,000 men on foot, besides the little ones. And a mixed multitude went up with them too, also flocks and herds, very much livestock. And they baked unleavened cakes of the dough which they had brought out of Mitzrayim, for it was not leavened, since they were driven out of Mitzrayim and had not been able to delay, nor had they prepared food for themselves. And the sojourn of the children of Israel who lived in Mitzrayim was 430 years. And it came to be at the end of the 430 years, on that same day, it came to be that all the divisions of Yahuah went out from the land of Mitzrayim. It is a night to be observed unto Yahuah for bringing them out of the land of Mitzrayim. This night is unto Yahuah to be observed by all the children of Israel throughout their generations. And Yahuah said to Moshe and Aaron, This is the law of the Pesach. No son of a stranger is to eat of it. But any servant a man has brought for silver, when you have circumcised him, then let him eat of it. A sojourner and a hired servant does not eat of it. It is eaten in one house. You are not to take any of the flesh outside the house, nor are you to break any bone of it. All the congregation of Israel are to perform it. And when a stranger sojourns with you, and shall perform the Pesach to Yahuah, let all his males be circumcised, and then let him come near and perform it. And he shall be as a native of the land, but let no uncircumcised eat of it. There is one Torah for the native born and for the stranger who sojourns among you. And all the children of Israel did as Yahuah commanded Moshe and Aaron, so they did. And it came to be on that same day, that Yahuah brought the children of Israel out of the land of Mitzrayim according to their divisions.
Awesome. Thank you, brother.
No problem, brother.
So, yeah.
Anytime.
Yeah. So we see there's specific commands, only the circumcised can eat of the Passover, meaning those who are in covenant. But if one does eat of it, if it is a sojourner, they're interested in observing it with you and they want to become grafted in, we are to allow that. And we see that right here, verse 48. And he shall be as a native of the land, who a sojourner. We also see when they came out of Mitzrayim, there was a mixed multitude of people with them. Right here, verse 38, a mixed multitude went up with them. We also see many flocks, herds, and a lot of livestock. But this goes to show the importance of, it's not about being native born. It's not about bloodlines or anything like that. If you choose to turn and follow Yahuah, you are grafted in and become part of Israel. Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. Yahuah allowed that to happen. And so next up will be Book of Nazarene. We're going to read to, let's see, I got it marked here somewhere. I think it's like the 41. So 18 to 41. And did you want to read there, Sister Sumi? And let's see, checking who all has joined here. Brother Lachlan, Shabbat Shalom. Good to see you.
What actually are we reading?
We're going to be reading Book of Nazarene, chapter 19, from verse 18 to 41.
Are you muted? Hold on, guys. Okay, I'm ready when you guys are.
All right, give me 1 second here. I just wanted to say Shabbat Shalom to Lachlan and Jermaine. I hope you guys are having a great time fellowshipping there in person. Feel free to share pictures or videos.
Shabbat Shalom. I feel so sick. I'm getting better.
Well, I'll be praying for you, brother. And also, Sister Heidi, Shabbat Shalom. Happy High Sabbath of Unleavened Bread. But all right, are you ready there, Sister Sumi?
I'm ready. You said 18 to what, 41?
Yeah, 18 to 41.
On the first day of the festival, when lambs were being sacrificed, the Talmudim came to Yahusha and asked where the Pesach meal should be eaten. Yahusha chose 2 of these and sent them away with this instruction. Go down and cross the stream flowing eastward from the city, at a place where there is a covered well. There you will see a man seated with a water pitcher beside him. Say to this man, we thirst, but need more than water. He will then arise, saying nothing, and you must follow him at a distance. And when you see him enter a house, go in also, giving this message to the owner. We come from the Adonai. He will then show you a room where you must make preparations. Now the house belonged to Obed, who was nigh 80 years of age, whose brother was Barnabas the elder. In an upper room, the Talmudim prepared the Pesach meal, and when it was evening, Yahusha came with the 12 emissaries and 3 others, but only 13 ate with him. After he had taken his place at the table, and all were seated, Yahusha said, I have very much wanted to keep this Pesach with you, because it is the last before my ordeal. And I tell you, I will not share another with you until my purpose is fulfilled. Then he took the cup before him and drank, saying, Blood is the high of men, while this is the high of the grape sacrifice for men. So it is a fitting and worthy symbol of he who offers his high for man. I will not taste wine again until the rule of Elohim is established. He then passed the cup to Yohanan, and taking the bread, he gave thanks and broke it, saying, This represents my body, which will be broken as an example to the sons and daughters of men. For all must freely sacrifice for others. As you eat of the bread, which is sacrifice, so shall you eat the bread of eternal high, for without sacrifice there is no high. Henceforth call it remembrance bread and remembrance wine. When meeting afterwards, do this and remember me. But remember also the sacrifices which must be made for the cause of Elohim. Yahusha said, The sacrifice is ready. The hand of the betrayer rests upon this table and dips in the bowl. But this is as it should be. Take the cup and drink again. It's crazy that we're reading this and we were just talking about it earlier. Let it seal a new covenant signed with the blood of one who is dedicated to the house of men and their deliverance from darkness into high, eternal. Those about the table began to speculate among themselves as to who would do such a thing. But Yahusha bid them be silent, saying, There is no evil lacking some seeds of goodness, which if extracted can be nurtured into great trees. A man finding his store bag of seed grain is moldy, does not throw it out, but searches to find the good grains, and from these he grows a crop which ripens to goodness. Wow. They then began disputing among themselves as to who was first in precedence among them. And Yahusha said, Those with worldly authority derive satisfaction from declaring themselves benefactors of the people. But the benefit that they seek is that accruing to themselves. Let this not be so among you. The ones seeking least for themselves and giving most, being those taking precedence. After a while, Yahusha said, My friends, I shall be with you only a short time now. Kepha said, Adonai, where do you go? Are you deserting us? Can we not come with you? Yahusha said, You cannot follow me immediately on this path, and to accompany me would serve no purpose, but later on you can follow me. Do not become faint-hearted, for if you believe in what I have taught you, believe also that I will be guided and strengthened. I shall prepare a place for you in the reign of Yahuah, and wait there to welcome you. Where I will be, you shall be also, and where you are, there too I will be. You know the way to where I am going, and can follow, for the Torah and the books of wisdom are the way, the truth, and the light. I have brought you a light to show the way. Follow it, and you will not go astray. Later you will understand that I am united with the Father, and as I am united with him, so you are united with me. Though we are many, let us stand as one, and those who serve, I will serve. Wow, I love that. To he who believes in my teachings, I will manifest. For what I do is done to prove to men my own convictions, that they will come to accept my teachings, and to follow the road of deliverance. The people yearn for the fulfillment of the prophecies and will surely follow one who fulfills them. Talma said, "Are you going to manifest only to us?" Yahusha answered, "If anyone care for me and my cause, I will speak to him through the power of the Ruach HaKodesh, and it will come to him also. Those who do not care for me or my cause will ignore my teachings. But do not fear them. Be on guard against those who pay lip service only. While I am with you, I can speak as men speak. But when I am gone, the Ruach HaKodesh will bear message in my name, clarifying your mind so you recall all I've taught you. In the reign of the Ruach, there are many splendid places, and I assure those who remain steadfast that they will be in the best of these. For when men die, each is drawn to the place whereof he is worthy. Even to each one is prepared a place for his soul. I will go down in the flesh to arise again in the Ruach, with power to manifest to men. I will demonstrate what man can do, and as I do, so can all men do. So can all men. I am a sacrifice to the misguided beliefs of men, that in the fulfillment of those beliefs they might turn to the path of their deliverance. I am the vine, and he who is above me is the cultivator. You are the branches, and the sap in me flows out to you. The sap is my teachings, severed from which you will be like a branch cut from the vine, only suitable for burning. I am the vine, and you are its fruit. And if the vine is sound, surely its fruit will be sound also. This is my last instruction to you. Love one another as I have loved you. For there is but one greater love than that of a man who would sacrifice his life for his friend, and that is sacrifice of a life for a cause where he serves those unknown to him. I have said, love one another, for you will be strengthened in the knowledge of that love. If the world hates you, it has hated me first. If you were to remain part of the world, it would accept you as its own and love you. But because I have severed you from the world, setting you apart, it will hate you. For it is in the nature of worldly men to hate those who are different. And not only are you different, but you also seek to point out their wickedness. If I chose an easier path, your burden would be so much greater, and the fruit of the vine might fall on barren ground. As they have persecuted me, so they would have persecuted you. As they have spurned my teachings, so they would have spurned yours. And as they rejected me, so they would have rejected you. I have much more to say. Oh, okay.
Well, you can include 41 if you want, but no, that's thank you, sister.
You're welcome.
And yeah, some pretty amazing stuff we read through here in the book of the Nazarene. And again, we see this is what occurred on the Passover evening. And we see, you know, like Sumi said, we were discussing this earlier. And actually, it was a question Andrea brought up before. You know, why was bread broken with Judas? And then he was, you know, cast out because Satan entered into him. And we can get into more of it later, but, you know, some of my thoughts were, you know, even the ones who are betrayers in our lives, they serve the purpose of Yahuah. So if Judas hadn't been a betrayer, the fulfillment of the prophecy would not have been able to come true at that point. So everything serves a purpose for Yahuwah's purpose, even if it's a betrayer, as we see here. So that's my thoughts about it, but very interesting stuff. And let's see, there was quite a few things in here, but you know, the book of the Nazarene is a very good read. I highly recommend it. Oh, yeah, so he was calling it, or saying to call it remembrance bread and remembrance wine as well. To do it all in remembrance of his sacrifice that will, take us out of the bondage of spiritual Egypt. And next we're going to be reading, Jubilees chapter 17 and starting in verse 15. But this is going to be the account of Abraham and Isaac, and we're going to learn which day that was that Abraham went to go offer up Isaac. We're going to see, it's the 15th of the first month. Memorials, yeah, exactly, Brandon. Memorials. And Kelly, Shabbat Shalom, brother. Good to see you here.
How are y'all doing?
Not too bad. Having a good time here. Going over some scriptures.
Yeah, I'm a little late, but I got here.
No worries. Better late than never, for sure. Jubilees. So this is chapter 17, verse 15. And we're going to read up to 18:3, 3 or 4. Yeah, Book of Nazarene, 1925. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's what I wanted to mention really quick before we go on. 25. Yeah, because they were beginning to speculate among themselves who would do such a things and things like that. It actually supports kind of, that, what I was just mentioning. So there is no evil lacking some seeds of goodness, which if extracted can be nurtured into great trees. So those who are betrayers or have some kind of evil or whatever in them, that doesn't mean that they're going to continue to be that way. They can change, they can turn, and they can follow Yahuah. Many of us are testimonies to that. So he was saying this about Judas even. So even those who betray, there's a purpose.
Jeremy?
Yeah.
Sorry. Do you know if you can buy the Book of Nazarene on a hard copy, or is it only online?
Yeah. Actually, I think they have it on Amazon.
Oh,
You can look up.
okay.
Yeah, I know it's a separate book, but in Yah scriptures, they include it in there.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
bought
no
it
problem.
off Amazon, and I think Parable of the Vineyard do a translation. I've seen
Yeah,
it
they
on.
did. Yeah, that's actually how Jason and his family got it. And he asked permission to use Adam's translation. And they, of course, added the, Paleo Hebrew and things like that. So, yeah, you can buy it on Amazon without having to get Yah scriptures. Yeah, Yah scriptures is on a pre-order / back order. They're waiting to get more sent in so they can send some out. And yeah, remember, Yah scriptures is like 7 pounds and it's very large. Actually, so I have a copy. Let me see if I still have the pictures. I took a picture to kind of show the comparison between like Yah scriptures and, so for example, Hallelujah scriptures is what I compared it with.
No wonder why they $150 to get it to Australia for postage.
Yeah, exactly. It's not light. Let's see, where is it? I thought I had. I'm pretty sure I still have the pictures. Yeah, I do, right here. I'll share them in the chat here for everybody. Oh, awesome. Micah, thanks for sharing the pictures. But yeah, so that's it. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I'm still on.
Oh, it's I thought you were trying to say something. Michael let you borrow the red shirt. Yeah. But yeah, so that's a picture, just a comparison, like the size difference and everything. It's large print, very large, but it does have all the apocryphal books. It's got Testament of the 12. It's got Book of the Nazarene. And it's really a reasonable price, like in comparison with, like, say, the Sefer and other versions, where they're charging like 150 or upwards for those versions, and they don't even have like half the scriptures that Yah Scriptures has. But anyways, let me continue. So we're going to be reading Jubilees starting in chapter 17, verse 15 here. And we're going to be getting into the account of Abraham and Isaac. And the day Abraham went to go offer up Isaac, we will see, is the 15th of the first month. The same day the first day of unleavened bread is. And we're going to continue to read that that's when he started to observe it 7 days. And it's very fascinating. So, all right. Jubilees 17:15. And it came to be in the 7th week, in the first year, and this is talking about the Jubilees here, in the first month in this Yobel, this Jubilee, on the 12th of this month. So this is important to remember, on the 12th of the first month. There were voices in the Shamayim regarding Abraham, that he was trustworthy in all that he told him, and that he loved Yahuah, and that in every affliction he was trustworthy. And the prince Mastema, so Jubilees calls Hasatan Mastema, and we're going to see Hasatan did the same thing here to Abraham as he did to Job. So, and Prince Mastema came and said before Elohim, see, Abraham loves Yitzhak his son, and he delights in him above all other matters. Command him to offer him as a burnt offering on the altar, and you shall see if he shall do this command. And you shall know if he is trustworthy in all in which you try him. So, very similar situation to what Job went through. And Yahuah knew that Abraham was trustworthy in all his afflictions, for he had tried him through his land and with scarcity of food, and he had tried him with the wealth of sovereigns, and had tried him again through his wife, when she was taken, and with the circumcision, and had tried him through Ishmael and Hagar, his female servant, when he sent them away. And in all which he had tried him, he was found trustworthy, and his being was not impatient, and he was not slow to act, for he was trustworthy and loved. So we see Abraham was following the commandments of Yahuah. He was obeying the Torah. So chapter 18. And Elohim said to him, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, see, here I am. And he said, take your beloved son, Yitzhak, who you love, and go to the high country, and offer him on one of the mountains, which I shall point out to you. And he rose early in the morning and saddled his donkey. And he took his 2 young men with him, and Yitzhak his son, and cut the wood for the burnt offering. And he went to the place on the 3rd day, and he saw that place far off. So again, we see on the 3rd day, so 12 plus 3 is 15. So this 3rd day is the 15th of the 1st month. And verse 4, and he came to a well of water, and he said this to his young men, you stay here with the donkey, and I shall go, and I and the lad shall go on. And when we have worshipped, we shall come again to you. And he took the wood for the burnt offering and laid it on Yitzhak his son. And he took in his hand the fire and the knife. And they went both of them together to that place. And Yitzhak said to his father, Father, and he said, Here I am, my son. And he said to him, See, the fire and the knife and the wood, but where is the sheep for the burnt offering, father? And he said, Elohim shall provide a sheep for a burnt offering, my son. And he drew near to the place of the mountain of Elohim. So I believe this is Mount Sinai here because it's one of the mountains of Elohim. And he built an altar, and he placed the wood on the altar, and bound Yitzhak his son, and placed him on the wood which was upon the altar, and stretched out his hand to take the knife to slay Yitzhak his son. And I stood before him, and before the prince of Mastema, and Yahuah said, Command him not to lay his hand on the lad, nor do any matter to him, for I have shown that he reveres Yahuah. And so we see this is one of the Malachim, the angels, who are giving this account here in Jubilees. He's recounting it to Moshe. And I stood, just read that. Verse 10, and I called to him from the Shamayim and said to him, Abraham, Abraham. And he was afraid and said, See, here I am. And I said to him, Do not lay your hand on the lad, neither do any matter to him. For now I have shown that you revere Yahuah, and have not withheld your son, your firstborn son, from me. So not only do we see this is a typology of Yahuah and Yahusha, but we are going to read further on that ram, which is a male lamb that was caught in the bush, is also a typology of Yahusha HaMashiach. He is the male ram that was offered in place of Isaac. He is that Asham offering, the atonement for sin offering that we just read in Jubilees here as well, the atonement offering. He's that Asham offering that requires a male lamb. And yeah, we just went over all this in my write-up as well, this last Shabbat fellowship. And if you guys are interested, I do have my write-up on that as well. And we're going to get into a bit of that here, that very write-up. Just a little portion of it to show his midweek, death. And really quick, let me get the link for that, and I will share it in the chat. One second here. Just getting the link real quick. Sorry, guys. And if you are listening on YouTube later on, the link is always in the description there. It'll be the death, burial, and resurrection. But there it is in the chat for everybody for you all to read later. And really, I just walked through scriptures on really the death, burial, and resurrection of Messiah, how it lines up with only the Zadok calendar. Okay. Let's see. We read 11 here about not withholding his firstborn son. All right, 12. Verse 12. And the prince of Mastema was put to shame, because we just read that, Hasatan, Prince Mastema, he was brought there to see what would happen, and he got put to shame because he's the accuser. And Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and see, a single ram caught by its horns. And Abraham went and took the ram and offered it as a burnt offering instead of his son. Yep, that single ram, that male lamb. And Abraham called that place Yahuah Yireh, so that it is said, Yahuah provides. That is Mount Zion. Oh, see there. Well, there we go. It describes the mountain, Mount Zion. I was incorrect in saying Sinai earlier. Pretty fascinating, though. Right there, Mount Zion. Yeah, the horns. There are horns of the altar as well, on the four corners. But we see Yahuah provides. He always provides. Abraham even said this, Yahuah will provide the lamb, and he did. Just like he provided the lamb being his son, Yahusha. But let me continue on, because we're going to get into where this is where he observed the 7-day festival. Because remember, this is before Passover was added. So it was a 7-day festival. Passover was added to it at the beginning when they came out of Mitzrayim. So verse 14, and Yahuah called Abraham by his name a second time from the Shamayim, as he caused us to appear to speak to him in the name of Yahuah. And he said, by myself I have sworn, says Yahuah, because you have done this matter, and have not withheld your son, your beloved son, from me, that in Barakah I shall barak you, and in multiplying I shall multiply your seed as the stars of the Shamayim, and as the sand which is on the seashore. And your seed shall inherit the cities of its enemies. And in your seed all nations of the earth shall be Baruch, because you have obeyed my voice. And I have shown to you that you are trustworthy to me. In all that I have said to you, go in Shalom. And Abraham went to his young men, and they arose and went together to Beersheba. And Abraham dwelt by Beersheba. And he celebrated this festival every year, 7 days with joy. And he called it the festival of Yahuah, according to the 7 days, during which he went and returned in peace. So we see, before it was even called the festival of unleavened bread, because again, we see that's what occurred there in Egypt, in Mitzrayim. They didn't have time to add leaven to the bread, so it was unleavened bread. And accordingly, it has been ordained and written on the tablets of the Shamayim regarding Israel and its seed, that they should observe this festival 7 days with the joy of a festival. And there, again, we see it is unleavened bread and Pesach. They were ordained as festivals before even going to Egypt, before they went to Egypt. This was a festival. And it just shows its importance as well. And so here, I wanted to get into a bit because we see Yahusha HaMashiach says, observe this in remembrance of me when they're observing the Pesach. And that it's the following day, the same day that we just read about in Jubilees, where Abraham went to offer up Isaac, the 15th of the first month. This is when Mashiach offered himself up. And this was on day 4 of the week, the middle of the week. This was prophesied about right here in Daniel, which is going to be Daniel chapter 9, verses 25 through 27. We're going to read here. And again, this only fits on the true Zadok calendar. This does not fit with any kind of lunar calendar or Pharisee/Jewish calendar. It will not work on there. So Daniel prophesied that Mashiach was to be killed in the middle of the week, on the 4th day of the week as well. We're going to see he also prophesies it's going to be a High Sabbath day or a Sabbath day. But let's get into it. So Daniel 9:25 through 27. Know then and understand, from the going forth of the command to restore and build Jerusalem until Mashiach, the Prince, is 7 weeks and 62 weeks. So this is describing the Jubilees until Mashiach came from the time of Daniel. And it occurred exactly just like this. Anyways, I digress. Let me continue. So it shall be built again with streets and a trench, but in times of affliction. And so we're going to see, this is speaking about New Jerusalem being built in the times of affliction. Sorry, I was just checking out the chat here. All the pictures coming through of all the live fellowships. Love it. All right, continuing. And after the 62 weeks, Mashiach shall be cut off. So 62 weeks is half. And the people of a coming prince shall destroy the city and the Kodesh place. Prince Mastema, perhaps? And the end of it is with a flood, and wastes are decreed, and fighting until the end. And he shall confirm a covenant with many for 1 week. And in the middle of the week, he shall put an end to slaughtering and a meal offering. So this is exactly what he did with his offering himself up. It put an end to having to offer sin offerings and things like that. And of course, in the the middle of the week, day 4. So he shall put an end to slaughtering and the meal offering. And on the wing of abominations he shall lay waste, even until the complete end. And that which is decreed is poured out on the one who lays waste. Oh, awesome. Marissa is ready to sing. Yeah, actually, I am. Let me just read this quick sentence here, and I will be ready for that for sure. So there's so much hidden meaning here. The first, most obvious, is that Messiah would die on day 4 of the week. The next is that his death will be a completion and fulfillment of sacrifice, because after which all sacrifice and offering shall rest. And that's what we see. So this confirms Isaiah's prophecy that Messiah would offer himself as the Asham, the sin offering, the sin sacrifice. Again, Isaiah 53:10. Also, John's testimony that he was a lamb slain for the atoning sacrifice for sin. 1 John 2:2 and 4:10. And so Daniel is telling us that Messiah, not only will Messiah's death be a fulfillment of the sin sacrifice, but it will also occur in the middle of the week on a day of rest. But this day of rest is not the weekly Shabbat. No, it's the High Sabbath, which is known in Hebrew as Shabbaton, the high Sabbath of unleavened bread is what it is, which is why he was not able to carry that stake. This is why a Gentile was made to carry that, so he can observe this high Sabbath day by not carrying a burden on the Shabbat. Not carrying a burden on the Shabbat is found in Jeremiah 17:21 through 22. And I go into a lot more detail here in my article about that if you would like to read it. But I think we're going to make some room here for Sister Marissa to come and play. And Shabbat Shalom, Andrea. Good to see you here. We just mentioned you because of we were talking about, so that question you had, how, why Judas was basically, why he was broken bread with, but then Hasatan entered him. No worries, no worries. Better late than never. Hold on, let me... Okay. Sorry, I was just texting Marissa there, telling her to come interrupt, jump on. Yeah, no worries. Actually, we might discuss it here after Marissa plays some songs for us. But there it is. There she is.
Yep. Maybe tomorrow.
All right, I'm going to mute my mic. And Shabbat Shalom, Mishpaha. Good to see everybody.
Just trying to keep you hungry. More.
The only reason why I'm not home on resent right now is because it's home on my bread.
You're gonna wait till tomorrow. I'm saving it up.
I'm gonna wait till the tax is over.
I get some largemouth bass fish. Right. Largemouth bass.
I'm gonna be so mad at you next week for it.
No, you won't.
You're live. You're live.
Holy is Yahusha, giving righteousness. Who is like you? None beside you. The saints and angels sing to Messiah, our risen King. Who is like you? None beside you. Now you get to hear the words. While we were weak, he chose to die. Step down from glory into our place. Every wrong made right, he is strong to save. No sin can claim us from his grace and mighty ways. Holy is Yahusha, giving righteousness. Who is like you? None beside you. The saints and angels sing to Messiah, our risen King. Who is like you? None beside you. in righteousness. Who is like you? None beside you. The saints and angels sing. Messiah, our risen King. Who is like you? None beside you.
Hallelujah. Thank you, Bruce.
Right? Isn't that one perfect for Passover and Unleavened Bread?
Yes, for sure.
I like that one.
Me too.
Yeah, okay, let's play that one.
Which one?
Let's play that one.
Oh, yeah.
Tabitha's song.
I probably can't send things.
Oh,
I don't know what to do. Did you play?
To me. Make me hear it.
Well, you were playing it during
I said no.
Yes. Yeah, we play that one usually.
Okay.
He doesn't. Oh, for friends.
Hold on, because didn't you put it in my
No,
It's a good fish taco.
he just didn't put it on. Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was doing his garden.
playing the E minor or the A minor? And with what table?
Yeah.
Oh.
Five.
One for the lips.
No, that's fine. Is there what you like?
Your kisses.
Kumbaya?
Yeah, really like that. Raisins, some apples from the castle.
Oh, that one?
Does it smell good, Aiden?
Yeah, I like that.
Let me see your eyes.
Yeah, we can do that. Check that out. Let me. I like this one.
Those are fraternal, not identical.
No.
What? There we go. Isaiah, can you give him a turn?
For behold, I create a new heaven and new earth, and the former things shall not be remembered. So be glad, rejoice forever in what I made. For behold, I make Jerusalem for rejoicing, and her people for gladness.
Since I'm watching the
I will rejoice in Jerusalem and be glad in all of my people, for they will no longer be heard in her voice of his name, for the sound of my no longer will there be babies dying or old men who live so surely, for all shall live out their days. For behold, I create a new heavens and new earth, and the former things shall not be remembered. So be glad and rejoice forever in what I made. For behold, Jerusalem rejoicing, and her people were glad. They will all then they shall live in them, and they will live in the earth. Never will they live. How can there be naked, no worldly land? And another reap their fruit. For at the lifetime of a tree, the welcome days of my people be, and my chosen ones will wear out their hands. They will wear out the work of their hands. For behold, I create a new heaven and earth, and the former things shall not be remembered. So be glad and rejoice, for heaven what I did. For behold, Jerusalem rejoicing, and her people are glad. They won't labor in vain, for their children go to bed. Deep within heart, children find that it will come to pass that before they come, I will answer while they are sleeping. I will for the and take together, and the lion will respond like an ox. And darkness will be the serpent's food, and they will do no evil on my holy mountain. For behold, I create a new heavens and new earth, and the former things shall not be remembered. So be glad and rejoice, for heaven is what I made. For behold, I made Jerusalem for rejoicing. For behold, I made Jerusalem for rejoicing, and her people for gladness. Yes. I don't know. Yes. Hallelujah. Yes. Beautiful. Beautiful. That one, all of it. Yeah. Got two more? Yeah, my fingers are on going today. Oh. Oh. Like that. Come on. We'll have to do the both. That is so beautiful. Okay. right there.
Yeah.
I have another sphere.
Yeah, I'll tug it.
Okay. I need it.
You've heard it singing.
I probably have. Once you start singing, then I'll be, oh,
Your water? Yeah.
are you still?
Yeah.
We're still
Yeah,
out.
we're alive.
Oh, okay.
They get it raw.
They get all the background noise too.
Raw uncut.
We love it.
What, Jeremy?
We love it.
You love it. Jeremy, why aren't you here?
Yeah.
I just said that in the chat.
You're missing from us, brother.
Yeah, we can feel your absence.
I know. I wish I was there. Honestly, it would be great. And then Cheyenne and Jessica are there, right?
I know. I'm very picky on working water.
Let's take the quacker back and here. Let's take it this direction. Can we go this direction?
Or you can just open and you can do a voice better. Hey!
Ow! He doesn't want to be interested.
Get my guitar back! I got stuck in there now. He wants my paper back. He calls it his paper.
Yeah.
I'm gonna borrow it.
I'm just going to do what you're doing.
Isaiah. Turn it back.
Ready? Yeah, I let you do that though. You are my portion and my eyes start to see your healing is knowing my colors, knowing you are my portion and your healing is knowing my colors, knowing you are my portion and pride. Your healing is knowing my cup runs, knowing you are my portion and pride.
I do.
Please, yeah. That's really good. Beautiful. I think we figured each other out. Yeah, I know we have. I follow you on that song.
Yeah, that sounds great.
I get nervous singing it, but it works. It works out. Yeah. No, it's perfect. I love playing that one. Probably one of my favorite songs.
What's so funny?
He didn't want to sit next to me, so I started making a sad face. He comes next to me, he goes,
Mama loves you back. That's the thing. He loves you much, Amanda. Not Miranda.
Do you?
What?
I usually play the
Yes.
phrase. I don't play one cable. Cable one.
I can tell when I have blind spots in my right eye, and so I keep the certain out of my
I've been wandering through the desert. Ain't seen that time forever over me, but I believe your rain is coming. I've been hanging on the high road. You're the one who's making dry bones come to life. You're the light I put my trust in. Every word you say is gonna come true. You will lead me to the promised land. Everything you say is gonna happen, even though I haven't seen it yet. I will build a boat in the sand where they say you jump your rains. I will stand up your faith. I'll do anything it takes. Wind in my sails, your love never fails or fails. I'll build a boat in the desert place, and when the flood and the waters start to rise, yeah, I'll ride the storm and I got you by my side. Your wind in my sails, your love never fails or fades. I'll build a boat so that it rains. You're the map, you're my compass. You help me navigate the currents underneath. Take the lead, I surrender. Every word you say is gonna come true. You will lead me to the promise. Everything you say is gonna happen, even though I haven't seen it yet. I will build a boat in the sea where they say it never rains. We'll stand up your faith. I'll do anything it takes with your wind in my sails. Your love never fails or fades. I'll build a boat in the desert place, and when the flood and the waters start to rise, yeah, I'll ride the storm. I got you by my side with your wind in my sails. Your love never fails or fades. I'll build a boat so let it rain. I'll build a boat so let it rain. going down the stairs.
We got some sunshine. I'm ready to go upstairs.
Barak Yahuah. It adds to the flavor.
Said it adds to the flavor.
Yeah. Yeah. Get some vitamin C. Right.
Cheyenne's on her way. All right. You want to play? Oh my gosh, yes! Yes, you got it.
There's Cheyenne.
Yes! So.
You got to see it too.
Oh no, it's not video. We're live.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. Fine.
Cheyenne. Shabbat Shalom, sister.
I said something about your category. That was awesome. They got to see me and Cheyenne meet live. Yeah. That was the first one. Yeah. All right, let me see. Oh.
Oh my God.
Come here, Mom. That thing was even halfway around before.
Right? I know.
Took a video of my
Is she?
Don't touch. No.
Sumi's on.
Hi, Sumi.
Listen.
Hey, sisters, brothers.
Can you hear her? Can't hear her?
Right?
It's really loud in here.
Yeah, sorry, guys.
No, it's all good. It was the same when we were on the porch at Marissa's.
It's my kids that are loud. It's them. I blame them. My child.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
All right, this is the last one, and then we're gonna turn it off.
They look like a fly being splat on. That's brilliant.
All right.
I'm gonna stick you on this wall for a while. Let's get
First.
My daughter is here.
My favorite. One of my favorites.
Oh, that's good.
Wait, hold on.
I need the air.
I had to wet my whistle.
No, I'm
all right. Last song. On that day, when I see my King, and death has lost its shame. Until then, I'm chasing after mysteries.
Stop that.
forgiving all my sins, Lord God. Rising to peace, darkness may. To ease me of all my dismay. On that day when I see my King and death has lost its sting. Until then, I'm chasing after mysteries. I'm chasing after mysteries. Chasing after you. Carry my sins far away. Carry my sins far away. Far away, yeah. Far away, yeah. Looking up into the day. And though it may just be a shadow, I'm chasing after mysteries to find the joy in knowing Yahusha. On that day when I see my King chosen all of his power and his love, I will join the fire to sing of his mercy and grace with all of his love. With all of his love. All of his love. With all of his
Yay!
Right. Yahuah. Love it. Glad to see all the fellowship too in person.
Thank you guys.
And Cheyenne.
We have Miss Libby on too.
We're still. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Hag Shemeag. Shabbat Shalom. That was awesome. Love it. Next, we need to have Lachlan and Jermaine share some video too. I know you guys are all out there in Australia fellowshipping together, which is awesome.
Jermaine's milking with Drew. I'll just come back to the caravan. I'm not feeling great.
I'm up in the goat
Definitely.
garden.
Aw. There's the baby goats, huh? Love it. But definitely in Palau for your healing and recovery there, brother. And you as well, Sister Jermaine.
Hello, everyone. Good
Yeah.
to see you.
Hey,
I'm going away when I found
Shabbat
out I was going
Shalom.
to Shabbat Shalom.
Good, Shalom. Good to see you, sister, and hear ya.
You too. I don't have my phone. I don't know where it's at, but I'm going to get on in a minute. After I find it.
Awesome. No worries. We saw everybody meeting there live. I love it. You all should have came when I was there. But no, it's all good. I know we're planning on having Sukkot there in Missouri as well. So, it's not all planned out right now, of course, but it is in the plans to have it there in Missouri. So, just letting everybody know. And I see we have our dear sister Libby here in the chat. I'm not sure if she's joined on live, but she has not. Yeah, those airplanes. Yeah, when I was on the one, even just going to Missouri and back here to Phoenix, they were changing it up from air conditioning, like the cooling, switching it to the heating, and then back to the cooling, back to the heating. And it's like seems kind of intense for what they do. And yeah, they pump in all that oxygen, and it's a pressurized cabin, things like that. So yeah, it can definitely cause some
When
sickness
when
as
I went
well.
to when I went to get off, I like put my nose under my shirt because they were just like, I like asked them what it was, and they're like, "Oh, it's just the condensation from the aircon, and it's like spraying out at you," and they're like keeping you on there when they're doing it. I'm like, this is so sad.
Yeah, really. How long was your flight?
2.5 hours, and I'm still in the same state.
Yeah, it was a little over 3 hours. Actually, both ways it was a little over 3 hours. That was several states away here.
I think last year going to America, that was like 20 hours roughly. 20 hours. 2 hours is much better.
Yeah, no doubt. And yeah, probably what Natalie says there too, either mold or toxic cleaners or both. But yeah, no, that's awesome. You all were able to, well, you were able to get out to Jermaine's and fellowship for Unleavened Bread and Pesach. It's awesome. You're like our Australian branch down there.
It's nice to see fellowshipping this morning.
Yeah, and it's really a blessing too when you're experiencing it in person too. It's undescribable, truly. Such a miracle. And yeah, I see Sister Libby's typing something there. And those of you who don't know Sister Libby, she's like in her 80s. She's been observing the Zadok calendar with the Divider Day since she was in her 20s. So quite some time. I believe she's still doing like how we used to do it, where the Divider Day is after the last Sabbath. Because I see your question in there. Sister Sumi. But yeah, no, it's all good, you know. We change with what we see written in scriptures and, well, what we see with our physical eyes as well. And we see the witnesses of the sun, moon, and the stars. That is why, well, we observe the calendar we observe now. But anyways, I allow that everybody had a Baruch Pesach last evening, and I allow everybody is having a Baruch High Shabbat of Unleavened Bread today. Kind of interesting how Saturday lines up with day 4 now. So the High Sabbath of, well, I think Unleavened Bread and Sukkot will all match up to a Saturday this year, whereas our normal Shabbats will be on Tuesdays. Speaking of that, I know there were some questions I got on the YouTube channel, actually. Some are confused about why we start on day 4. And I wanted to kind of cover that a little bit to kind of explain why. And that's because that's the luminaries, the sun, moon, and the stars were created to keep track of the days, weeks, months, years, seasons, all of that. So we see, yes, Yahuah started that cycle with, you know, that void, the 0, and then days 1, 2, 3. Then day 4 was when the luminaries were made. But like that, like on Sister Marissa's example showing that kind of loop that circles around, Yahuah starts it off, then it intersects right there in between days 3 and 4, continuing on from that. And that's where the head of days, ancient of days terminology comes in that we see both Daniel and Enoch using. Yeah, and Jermaine is not feeling well either. Definitely in Palau for Jermaine and Lachlan for healing and a hedge of protection. And also, so about the day 4 start, I know we've made quite a few videos in the past where we definitely go over that, but we are planning on at least once a month covering different parts of the calendar. That way all the new people who join or who listen in later on YouTube can have a better understanding and be able to therefore search it out for themselves as well. But maybe that will be one of the first ones we do, is going over why the head of the year is on day 4 of the week. Yeah, eat some golden turmeric. Yeah, exactly. And also I wanted to, so that the topic came up today in the fellowship actually on, you know, the whole why bread was broken with Judas when he's a betrayer. And yeah, I had mentioned, Andrea brought this question up to me a few weeks ago, actually, when I was still in Missouri. And we discussed it there too, me, Marissa, and Michael. And a very interesting topic, which I know it does for sure have a deeper meaning. But I think also what we read today in the book of the Nazarene kind of support the idea that, you know, it's about even the ones who betray us, Yahuah has a purpose for them in our own lives, even at times. And we see that, you know, even Yahusha was saying just because a seed has mold on it doesn't mean you toss out the whole bag, because even that seed can grow into a great tree. And he was saying that in reference to Judas. So, yes, Judas was a betrayer. He did terrible things. And one of the things was, what he wasn't a pagan, meaning he was following Yahuah and the Torah for the most part, except for the betrayal and things like that. But he was just a pagan believer and things like that. He was actually a Yahudim, and he was just a rebellious one. So Yahuah knows our hearts, but the ones who betray us have a purpose, and his purpose was to, betray Mashiach, so the scriptures that prophesy about him will be fulfilled. If he hadn't have done that, none of that would have happened. So it was all for a reason and a purpose. And we could see that was for a big purpose, for sure. The atonement of all of our sins. Loving all the pictures in chat, by the way.
I was thinking about our conversation earlier, and yeah, Judas got to eat and he got his feet washed and he got to participate, but what happened in the end to him, and that's what I was trying to warn these people about that want to come over, and they just see it as, I don't know, I guess they probably view it as some kind of birthday party, kind of something like that.
Gathering.
Yeah, they don't understand how sacred it is. And so I tell them, the scriptures that talk about people who come to y'all's table unworthily and how sickness and death follows. And that's exactly what happened with Judas. Yes, he was there, but he's suffered the consequences of it at the same time. So got to keep that in mind too. So like, say that Patrick does want to be a part of it next year. I'm very weary about that and going to continue to tell him. But at the same time, are we supposed to say, no, you can't, that's his own choice at that point. And then maybe it will, if something does happen bad to him after that, that's glory to Yahuah, because we're going to be like, look, we told you.
To church and having Shabbat with us through the year before that Pesach comes.
But I'm saying the worst case scenario, and not just my situation, but other people's situations. How do you address that?
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Because, we see in Peter's dream, it was about not calling any man unclean, which includes women as well. But no man is unclean as long as they are willing to turn and follow Yahuah. So we also read right there in Exodus, if a stranger or sojourner wants to come in, they must, be circumcised. And I would go on to add, that includes circumcision of a heart as well. So if they truly are seeking and wanting to follow Yahuah, they're more than welcome to join. But we're known by our fruits as well, so we have to show that we are willing to do that, And yeah, I think you all did the right thing there, Sister Sumi. You had all the children coming joining for Pesach. You were being a good example there on how to observe Pesach. Don't deny the little children, and you didn't. So I count it as a barakah, truly. And the parents were there to witness it, to see barakah. That's how I see it.
I agree. And who knows, just the parents watching what may happen later with these children, they're going to be popping in my house all the time now.
They already are.
They're eating all my matzah right now.
Well, there you go. You see? Being that good example, that's what it's about. And, I was thinking about it more as well. And because of that conversation of the topic we had, why the bread was broken with Judas and, his feet were washed and things like that. And it's because he did follow the way for the most part. He was he was included in the Talmudim, the apostles, the disciples of Hamashiach. So, that counted towards something, even though in the end he ended up being a betrayer. It was all done for Yahuah's reason. Everything is done for Yahuah's reason. And even those that betray us is for one reason or another, to be a lesson to us, an example, whatever it may be. There's a purpose for it all. And in this case, it was definitely a major purpose. It was to fulfill the scriptures that all prophesied about Hamashiach. It's truly a blessing, and it really goes super deep about it. And that's the thing too. Just scriptures answers scriptures. Nobody has all the answers, and we should all be willing to change if we see something in scriptures that, necessitates that, for sure. And, it even goes with, we're not always given the answer right away to things. So sometimes you'll have a question, but it won't be answered. It may take a day, a week, a month, year, maybe more, several years for it to be answered. But Yahuah will always answer it if you keep continuing to seek his truth. Yeah, I love seeing all the pictures there in chat of everybody's fellowship in person. Everyone who shared their Pesach meals and things like that last night. Such a barakoth and very inspiring as well. Truly, I love each and every one of you. You're all very important. And this is why we all truly need each other and why we are mishpacha. And I know like half of our fellowship is fellowshipping in person there in Missouri, but it's all good. This is why we're all here, to fellowship together, to seek Yahuah's truth. And I truly appreciate all of that very much so. Can't believe we are over 2 hours in. It doesn't even feel like it, to be honest. Feels like we've been here 10 minutes. But to those who are listening in the future, on YouTube and things like that, I hope this also shows the importance of following scriptures and the importance of fellowshipping together. It doesn't have to be some big, glamorous church building that we fellowship in, no. And in fact, we see quite the opposite in scriptures. It's usually small gatherings in people's houses and things like that. So it's really such a blessing when it is such a smaller setting too. It's more personal, and the Ruach will definitely be there. I know all of us who were there at the head of the year in Missouri, we experienced that. I just loved it so much. I wish we did all live closer together as well. We are looking into maybe getting some kind of community land or something there in Missouri. It's been talked about quite a bit, but It's definitely not something set in stone or anything like that yet, but just something we've talked about. And I know Sister Marissa's had quite a few interesting plans, in order to help the community and things like that, and just spread the truth of Yahuah. But anyways, I think we may end it there for this fellowship here. $1 million for permanent American visa. Oh my. $1 million, that's wild. Is that just for those where you can draw the lottery to get one? Yeah, of course. Yeah. That's is it just from Australia? Because wow, that's wildly expensive. Just get a temporary one and marry an American. Yeah.
Yeah, when I went to Paraguay last year, I was like considering it back then, but I looked into it and then, yeah, it was expensive as. They're like the two options, yeah, marry someone or like, or three options, like lotto draw, or like, yeah, it's around like 900,000 or something.
That's over the top, honestly. Wow. Like it costs wow, like it's that cool to be, a citizen here. I am a citizen and trust me, I don't want to be here. But no, wow. Literally
Makes me
wildly.
wonder how many,
Go
how
ahead, bro.
many Israelis got dual citizenship.
That dual
Maybe they
citizenship.
get
Yeah.
it for free.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, that
Wouldn't
dual
surprise
citizenship
me.
probably pricey. Yeah, it's Babylon here. Yeah. Oh yeah, Andrea. Yeah, fellowshipping in person was truly a miracle. I'm so grateful for the experience that Yahuwah Baruch me with the means to be able to experience it. Me as well, truly. I know all of us who were there feel the same way. It was truly a Barakoth fellowshipping in person. Even if it was for just a day or two, it was just that much more meaningful. And I know I was glad you made it. All of us were, truly. That's why we all say, hey, you should talk more. We all love your input because you are a Barakoth as well. Yeah, I dislike Babylon with a passion. Where is the exit? Exactly, 100%. I know probably all of us here feel that same way. We all feel trapped in Babylon, no matter if we're here in the US, there in Australia, the UK. It's all the same. It's all that same Babylonian system, in fact. And
It's like
Marissa,
the,
go ahead,
we're
go ahead.
coerced, we're all coerced into accepting or not accepting, but into believing that we are our straw man, and then we're literally pressured by military that is pretty hectic to stand against, whether it be police or army. That's, yeah. Like,
Yeah,
coerced into assuming our legal fictions is us, and it's all, like, just fake.
yeah, exactly. It's all fear-based control is what it is. 100%. Building the straw man, and yeah, we can go very deep on that, but yeah. And yeah, I would agree there, Sister Natalie. Those are just, they're not real. They're made up, again, for fear-based control. You know, you better go and get your jabby jab. You know, protect everybody around you. Get that jab. Anyways, that's I don't want to get another strike on my channel for that. I've already gotten quite a few. For entertainment purposes only, by the way, YouTube. Yeah, there's a whole lot of topics we can go into, but I would have to stop the recording and get into it that way. I mean, we have done that before. Or we could record it and just not put it on YouTube. But I would like this to be on YouTube. Some important stuff touched on here. Anyways, sorry. Rambling on. But yeah, so they do push that fear-based mongering like that, you know, oh, there's a new, quote unquote variant coming about, run and hide, everybody, trust your local pharmakeist in a white robe. Yeah, another day when you can be present for the topics. Yeah, you're having in-person fellowship there as well. That's right. I can't wait for Sukkot, honestly. Spend a week together with everybody. But anyways, yeah, exactly. Exactly, Lachlan. That's the part I can't say out loud. But all right. No, I love each and every one of you. We are Mishpacha. This is definitely, it's much more than just some random online fellowship. It's personal. We seek Yahuah's truth together. And you all have so very much to add to everything too. I love it. We all have that, piece of the puzzle. And we all need to come together to be able to put it together. I was going to try to wait for Libby to be done typing, but it seems she either logged off while typing or she is just taking a long time to type whatever it is out. She is older, so I'll give her that. But anyways, it's good to see all of you here. It's good to be Mishpacha together with all of you. We will have our next fellowship on Shabbat, which will be on Gregorian Tuesday. And I will schedule it at the same time. So it'll be noon here in Arizona, but it'll be 3 p.m. Eastern. And yeah, it'll be the Shabbat in the middle of Unleavened Bread there. But anyways, I pray you all have a Baruch rest of your yoms, your days. A Baruch rest of your evenings or mornings, wherever you're at. And we will see you all again here on Tuesday for Shabbat. And much love to each and every one of you. And we will see you all then. Shabbat Shalom. And much love, everybody.
Shalom, shalom.